Yemenite food, malawach, lachuch, schug, chibe, and yachnun. Yachnun, I see some people know what that is. And he filled our house with Yemenite music, and it became the food that I loved the most, and the music filled me with longing. But as I went to school, things changed. My first day at a private Jewish day school, I was on the playground, and a kid came up to me and he said, "You're too dark to be Jewish." And then, after 9/11, things got worse. My dad was compared to Osama bin Laden. They made fun of the food he packed for me at lunch. They made fun of his accent, and they called him, as they said, Osama bin Laden. So I started to hide. I became very, very ashamed of who I was. So by the time I was in high school, I went through the entire 4 years without introducing my father to a single one of my friends. Nobody knew about my beautiful Yemenite Jewish culture. I kept it a secret. And when I moved to New York City to attend NYU, I was still in hiding. And I was hiding for 2 years, and it was so stressful that I decided I would give up my dream of being an actor, and I moved back home because I couldn't keep living a double life. And I went back home, and I spent that summer with my dad, and we did what we always did. We listened to Yemenite music, and we cooked Yemenite food. And one day we were in the kitchen, and he was cooking malak temani, Yemenite soup, and he's putting his spices inside of me. He looks at me and said, "Ali, you need to learn how to make this, huh?" And I was overcome with emotion. I ran to the bathroom, and I started crying. And I said, "I can't hide him anymore to myself." And I went back out of the bathroom. I looked at my Abba, and I said, "Abba, I think I want to go back to NYU." He said, "That's fine. Whatever you want to do." And my first day back at NYU for my junior year, we were given an assignment, and I knew I had to come clean. And the assignment from the teacher was, tell your life story using a metaphor. And I decided that I would learn to sing a song that my dad sung me as a kid, that his father sang him, called the Chayeli. So I memorized it, and I went into class shaking, and I started to sing. תשוקותי בחוחשגי ואהבתי לכל ליבי וכליותיי לכל רוחי ונשמתי השיבני ושובו ותרצה תשובותי השיבני ושובו I opened my eyes. I looked at my classmates and I said, "My name is Ari'el Statchel Yeshayahu. My whole life I've been battling the truth. I'm Middle Eastern, and my roots are in Yemen." And I was scared that if anybody found out that I was less valid of a person. But I'm so sorry to have lied to everybody in this room. After that, I embraced and connected my Yemenite culture. I started going out to Yemenite brunches. I played Yemenite music. I found Yemenite friends. And then I found the Yemenite synagogue of Manhattan. And later, a few years later, when I was lucky enough to make it to Broadway, I achieved my dream. And after I did that show, I decided that I wanted to share my Yemenite culture on stage. So I spent years writing a play that is above all else a love letter to my father. And so tonight is very meaningful to me because I get to share a small part of my father's love and culture with you. The dessert we're going to eat is called malawach. And my father cooks it for me every single weekend. We would use it with shredded tomatoes at school. And if we wanted something sweet, we do it with honey. And being in this space is a gift to my younger self that I didn't know that I would ever get to experience. So thank you so much for being here, and please enjoy your Malawa.